Good morning students. In the last lecture we have covered lesson number 2, that is utility analysis. Now in this particular lecture we are going to start lesson number 3a, which is demand analysis. Lesson number 3 is divided into two parts, 3a and 3b, that is demand analysis and elasticity of demand. So this is actually lesson number 3a, demand analysis according to your textbook. In this particular lesson we are going to study many things about demand, right? So basically, to begin with demand, we will have to study the concept of desire first. So what is desire? See, desire is a mere wish to have a commodity. It is an urge to have something. When you want something, right, it is called as desire. Next line is, it may or may not be supported by ability to purchase it and willingness to pay its price. Desire is just a wish. It may or may not be supported by ability to purchase that commodity. If you can see the second example, a beggar's desire to have a car. Beggar matlab bhikari. So a bhikari's desire, a beggar's desire to have a car is not supported by ability to purchase. He don't have that much purchasing power, but still it is a desire, right? And sometimes a desire may have support of ability and willingness also. That is what is given in the first example. A student's desire to have a pen. You are a student. If you desire to have a pen, you have that much purchasing power. It means you can purchase a pen right from your pocket money or from the money which is given to you by your parents. So what is desire? Desire is a mere wish to have a commodity. When you just want to have a commodity, right? When you are going through, when we are going to a college and you see one street vendor selling some sweets or something, and when you have an urge to eat that particular commodity or say sandwich or something, it is just a desire. It may or may not be supported by purchasing power. So desire is just a wish to have or to possess or to purchase a commodity. Now, next concept is demand. Actually, according to last year's syllabus, there was a distinguish between desire and demand, but in current year syllabus, that is in modified syllabus, distinguish between desire and demand is omitted from your syllabus. When I will have time, if I will have time, I will dictate you the definition, distinguish between desire and demand. So let us start the concept of demand. The definition is very important. Demand is desire for a commodity backed by ability to purchase it and willingness to pay its price. Very important. To constitute demand, there must be three things. First thing is desire for a commodity. Second thing, ability to purchase that commodity. And third thing is willingness to pay its price. When these three things are combined together, a desire is converted into demand. Please read the definition one more time. Demand is a desire for a commodity backed by ability to purchase it and willingness to pay its price. Right? Whenever a desire gets support of ability, that is purchasing power, and willingness to pay the price of a commodity, it is considered as demand. Please take three examples to explain what will happen if desire is missing, ability is missing, and willingness is missing. For example, being a vegetarian person, I don't have desire to purchase any non-vegetarian food. So I will never demand, I will never purchase non-vegetarian food because I don't have desire for that commodity. So first thing is desire for a commodity. Second, ability to purchase that commodity. If you have desire to purchase a pen worth ₹10 and if you have only 5 rupees with you, you cannot purchase that particular pen though you have desire because of ability to purchase. The example in the desire, the third example here you can see, a beggar's desire to have a car. A beggar cannot purchase car because of lack of ability to purchase. He don't have that much money to purchase a car, right? And the third example is willingness to pay the price. For example, if you have a desire for a notebook or a textbook, you enter a shop with 100 rupees, the cost or the price of the notebook is say rupees 80, right? You have desire for a notebook, you have ability to purchase it, but before purchasing, when you examine or when you inspect the notebook, what you will find is some pages are torn, some pages are misplaced, right? It is faulty. In short, the notebook is faulty. Now you have desire for a commodity, you want that notebook, you have ability, price of that notebook is 80 rupees and you have 100 rupees with you, so you have ability also, but you don't have willingness to pay the price of a commodity. You are not ready to spend 100 rupees on such a defective notebook. So when desire for a commodity is supported by ability and willingness to pay the price, then and then only it is called as demand. So any ability or any willingness or any desire, just a desire or just an ability or just willingness cannot constitute demand. Demand is, again I am reading the definition, demand is desire for a commodity backed by ability to purchase it and willingness to pay its price. Hence it is rightly said that, you can see at the bottom, all demands are desires, but all desires are not demands. We have lot of desires, but we cannot purchase every commodity which we desire about. So every desire cannot be converted into demand, but all demands are desires. Okay, please go through the script, demand, desire and the definition, right? I will wait for a minute. Okay. Now, according to the textbook, actually the next topic is demand schedule and demand curve, but I am changing the sequence to make the particular concept easy to understand. So before that we will study the next topic which is there in your textbook, but afterwards it is mentioned. So please consider this topic first, that is what is types of demand. Before studying types of demand, again please read the definition. Demand for a commodity, demand is desire for a commodity backed by ability to purchase it and willingness to pay its price, right? Now we will start what are the different types of demands. First type of demand is joint demand. Actually first type of demand is fourth type which is there in your textbook, that is direct demand and derived demand. But let's start from simple to difficult, right? So the first type is joint demand or complementary demand. Please listen to the definition very carefully. Demand for a commodity is said to be joint demand when two or more goods are jointly demanded to satisfy a single want. जब भी दो या दो से ज़्यादा चीज़ें हम लोगों को एक साथ खरीदनी पड़ती है to satisfy single want, it is called as joint demand. You can see the example, demand for car and petrol. If you just have car but if you don't have petrol, or if you have petrol but if you don't have car, it is useless. So demand for car and petrol is joint or complementary demand, because both of them complement with each other, right? If you want car, you must have petrol. If you have petrol, then you must have car or two-wheeler, something like that. Next type of demand is composite demand. When any commodity satisfies lot of wants, right, demand for that commodity is called as composite demand. For example, You can say that demand for electricity, demand for water, demand for coal, because electricity, water and coal are used for satisfying lot of wants, right? So demand for electricity is composite demand. Next demand is competitive demand. Pay attention. Next is competitive demand. Competitive demand में क्या होता है, ध्यान से सुनो. When two goods are available, right? Want is one and there are two goods. You will have to select any one commodity to satisfy your want. It is called as competitive demand. For example, demand for tea and coffee, right? Demand for tea and coffee. जब भी तुम्हारे घर पे गेस्ट आएंगे तो हम लोग उसको ऑफर करेंगे. व्हाट यू विल हैव टी और कॉफ़ी. दे विल नॉट हैव बोथ. आधा कप चाय के अंदर आधा कप कॉफ़ी मिक्स नहीं करनी है हम लोगों को. सो दे वांट एनी वन कमोडिटी. इफ़ यू वांट अ पेन, you may have cello gripper or say Lexi, right? Any pen. We don't want two pens at a time. हम लोग दो पेन पकड़ के साथ में नहीं लिखेंगे. If you want a pencil, you may have Apsara Black or Natraj. So demand for these commodities is called as competitive demand, which is opposite to joint demand. Joint demand में हमको दोनों चीज़ें चाहिए, car and petrol. But in competitive, we want only one, either tea or coffee. Now, next type is fourth, which is actually important, direct demand. Pay attention to the definition. When any commodity satisfies human want directly, demand for such commodity is called as direct demand. When any commodity satisfies human want directly, demand for such commodity is called as direct demand. Example में देख सकते हो तुम लोग. Demand for consumer goods such as fan, for example, such as food, such as water, etc., etc. When you are thirsty, water will satisfy your want directly. When you are hungry, if you eat food, your want of hunger will be satisfied. So demand for all consumer goods is direct demand. Next is derived demand. Derived demand is what? When any commodity is used to produce another commodity and thereby it satisfies your want, right? Then demand for such commodity is called as derived demand. For example, demand for machinery, right? A machine which is used to produce bread, right? If you are hungry, you want bread to eat, you don't want that machine. But if you want bread, you want that machine. So demand for bread is direct demand and demand for that machine is derived demand, right? In summer, if you want fan, then you want electricity. Fan will satisfy your want directly. Electricity will satisfy your want indirectly by rotating the fan. So demand for electricity can be considered as derived demand, because if you don't want fan, you don't want electricity. Correct? So demand for all producers goods, demand for all capital assets, demand for all factors of production is derived demand. Next type of demand is ex post and ex ante demand. It is excluded from your syllabus this year, but just for the sake of general knowledge, you can say that demand for a commodity is ex post when you have already purchased the quantity, right? Quantity already purchased. And when you are going to purchase any quantity of a commodity, here it is written quantity intended to purchase. Intended to purchase when you are going to purchase any commodity. For example, in the beginning of the academic year, you might have purchased a notebook, right? When you will complete the notebook, जब वो notebook भर जाएगी, you are going to purchase another notebook, right? So the notebook which you have already purchased, demand for that notebook is ex post demand, and the notebook which you are going to purchase in the future, demand for that notebook is ex ante demand. So please go through all the types of demand carefully, and as I have already repeated in my previous lectures, if you have any doubt, you are free to call me on WhatsApp, or you can directly call me on my mobile number, right? Please go through all the types of demand, then we will proceed to the next topic. Okay. Now, next topic is what are the different concepts of demand, right? Pay attention that types of demands are something different from concept. Please do not misunderstand. If in exam you will have a question regarding concepts, you are supposed to write individual demand and market demand, and types of demand are these joint, complementary, etc., etc. I have seen many notes in which individual demand and market demand are included in types of demand, but frankly speaking they are not types, they are concepts of demand. So let us start with individual demand and market demand. Basically first is individual demand and market demand. What individual demand is? Please see the definition. Individual demand refers to the quantity of a commodity demanded by a single customer at various prices at a point of time or during a given period of time. It is very easy. Individual demand refers to the quantity of a commodity demanded by a single customer. Whenever a single customer from market demands any commodity at various prices at a point of time, it means एक particular दिन में और during a given period of time, मतलब जैसे एक हफ्ते में, एक महीने में, demand for that commodity is called as individual demand. For example, a pen purchased by a student today. आज कॉलेज में आने से पहले एक स्टूडेंट ने एक पेन खरीदा, सो वो हो गया उसका इंडिविजुअल डिमांड. एंड व्हाट इज मार्केट डिमांड? Market demand refers to the quantity of a commodity demanded by, you can see that every word, quantity of a commodity demanded by, quantity of a commodity demanded by, same words are there. Here it is a single customer, here it is by all customers together at various prices at a point of time or during a given period of time. सेम एग्जाम्पल, कॉलेज में आने से पहले एक स्टूडेंट की जगह पे भिवंडी में आज 100 स्टूडेंट्स ने ऐसे अलग अलग पेन खरीदे. So demand for all these pens purchased by 100 students constitute market demand, right? If you have a Samsung mobile with you, it is individual demand, and in India, for example, 1 lakh people are having Samsung mobile, then it is market demand for that mobile. So what is individual demand? It refers to the quantity of a commodity demanded by a single customer. And what is market demand? It refers to demand for a commodity by all customers together in the market, right? थोड़ा सा अगर एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए बताऊँ तो इंडिविजुअल डिमांड इज अ सिंगुलर कंसेप्ट एंड मार्केट डिमांड इज समथिंग प्लूरल. ओके, इट इज सम टोटल ऑफ ऑल इंडिविजुअल डिमांड्स, राइट? ओके, next concept is what is demand schedule and what is demand curve. What is demand schedule? Demand schedule is a tabular statement. Please pay attention towards these words. It is a tabular statement, मतलब a statement presented in the form of a table. You can see that these are the individual and market demand schedules. I will explain it later, right? So what is demand schedule? It is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity demanded at various prices. मतलब how various quantities of a commodities, these are the quantities, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 500, 400 are the quantities demanded at various prices. You can see that these are the prices 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it is a tabular statement. A statement presented in the form of a table is called as a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity demanded at various prices at a point of time or during a given period of time. जैसे कि आज at a point of time मतलब आज, और during a given period of time मतलब इस हफ्ते, इस महीने, इस साल में, etc. Okay, if you will look at the definition carefully, it is not mentioned that the quantity is demanded whether by an individual or group of individuals, right? See the words demanded at various prices. Demand किसने किया वो नहीं लिखा है उसमें, right? So it is the definition of demand schedule. And now what is demand curve? A graphical presentation. See the word graphical presentation. Presentation in the form of a graph. Demand curve is a graphical presentation. Is a demand schedule. Demand curve is a graphical presentation. Again I am repeating, graphical presentation of a demand schedule, right? So demand curve is a graphical presentation of demand schedule. Wherever a demand schedule is presented in a graphical format, it is called as a demand curve. Okay. Now we will study what is individual demand schedule and now what is market demand schedule. Here it was only demand schedule. It was not about a particular person or a group of persons, right? So it was only demand schedule, not about a particular person or a group of persons. So now we will study what is individual demand schedule and what is market demand schedule. If you will see the definition, it is same. Individual demand schedule is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity. Instead of demanded by, here it is purchased by. See the same definition. Demand schedule is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity demanded. Individual demand schedule, as we are talking about a person, here there is one word inserted. Individual demand schedule is a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity demanded, or you can say purchased. Now some words are added by a single customer. This is what is important, by a single customer. मतलब यहाँ पे वो commodity एक आदमी ने खरीदी हुई है. So it is called as at various prices at a point of time or during a given period of time. It is called as individual demand schedule. If you look at the definition, you will find same word. Instead of individual, the word replaced by market. So market demand schedule, again same, refers to a tabular statement showing various quantities of a commodity purchased by. Here up to purchased by it is same. If you can see, purchased by, purchased by. Instead of a single customer, now the words are all customers together, right? So in case of a single customer, मान लो कि there is only one customer and all customers together, it constitutes all the customers in the market. For example, say 100 customers, for example. Again same word, at various prices at a point of time or during a given period of time. So these are the definitions of individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. If you want to present them in a proper schedule form, these are the schedules. First table is individual demand schedule. Here you can say price is rupee 1, rupee 2, rupee 3, rupee 1, rupees 2, 3, 4, 5, and demand is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 units, because it is individual demand. Here the quantity of a commodity is purchased by a single customer. Okay, the demand is made by a single customer like me, and here demand is made by all of us. So it is market demand. If you will look at the price column, you can see that price is same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. अगर मैं 1 रुपये में 5 यूनिट खरीदता हूँ तो मेरे जैसे 100 लोग मार्केट में 1 रुपये में 500 यूनिट खरीदेंगे, बिकॉज 5 यूनिट इज माई डिमांड, राइट? 100 customers will purchase 500 units. So if you look at the quantity, it is 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, right? There is no change in price. Please do not change price. The change is only in demand. Again, I will show you the definitions and table one more time, right? Afterward, we will proceed to demand curve. Okay, please study the definition. Again, this is concepts of demand, right? These are the definitions of individual demand and market demand. Okay, next is demand schedule and demand curve. Again I am repeating, it is not individual or market, it is plain, it is just a demand schedule and just a demand curve. Afterward it comes individual demand schedule and market demand schedule definitions. You can write down afterwards, right? Individual demand schedule and market demand schedule, and these are the demand schedules. Okay, have you gone through the schedule? There are no changes in price, only there are changes in quantities, right? Because market demand constitutes all individual demands taken together. Now we will proceed to demand curve, right? One more time I will revise you the definition. What is demand curve? Here Demand curve is a graphical presentation of a demand schedule. If you will convert this particular schedule into graph, you will get demand curve. So these are the, actually it is very difficult to draw a diagram in a PPT. So I will explain you with the help of your textbook. Here it is, individual demand curve, you can see. Let me zoom it. Okay, I hope now you will see the picture, individual demand curve. Okay, मैं इसको थोड़ा ऊपर लेता हूँ. Okay, now pay attention toward the diagram. There are two axes as usual, x axis and y axis. Price is measured on y-axis and demand is measured on x-axis. Their quantity is something different. Their quantity, if you want to see, the quantities are, these are the quantities. Okay, price 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and demand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The table which I have shown you had different numbers, but it doesn't make any difference because ultimately diagram will remain same. See, let me tell you, according to our table, right? See, price is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and demand is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here you will write 1, 1, 2, here will be 1, here you will write 2, right, then 3 here, then 4 and then 5, and on x-axis same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we don't want that 6 and 7. Okay, now see, when the price was rupee 1, demand was 5 units. Okay, see, here our price will be rupee 1. Okay, rupee 1 price and demand is 5 units. So you will get this particular point. You will get this particular point. This point. Okay. Then price here will be rupees 2. Our demand will be rupees 4 units. This point. Then price will be rupees 3. Then 3 point. Price will be rupees 4. Here 4 rupees. You will get this point 4, 2. And price when rupees it is 5, you will get this particular point, right? So if you will join 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 points, you will get a downward sloping line like this, DD. And please let me tell you, in the examination you need not have to draw these dotted lines which are there in this particular diagram. It is just for the sake of understanding. There is no need to draw these dotted lines at all. You can directly draw a demand curve like DD, like this, DD. Okay, and it is explained at the bottom. Let me explain you. Please pay the attention. The demand curve DD slopes downward from left to right, indicating an inverse relationship between price and demand. Inverse का मतलब होता है opposite. It means when price of a commodity rises, demand for that commodity falls. If you have heard me very carefully, again I am repeating, when price rises, demand falls. मैंने increase या decrease word pronounce नहीं किए, because increase and decrease are something different. You will study what decrease in demand means in the last short note of this lesson. So please do not say it when price increases and demand decreases. It is absolutely wrong. When price rises, demand falls, it means inverse relationship. Inverse relationship you can see with the help of this table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Price is rising. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Demand is falling. Right? So it is explained with the help of this particular demand curve. It is individual demand curve. Right? You can see from the picture here that here there is a seller and there is only one buyer. He is a seller selling some apples, and this is the customer. Single lady is there, so it is individual demand, right? If you will go through the table of market demand, I will show you the table of market demand. What they have mentioned that price 10,8642, same price is there which was there in individual demand. See इंडिविजुअल डिमांड का टेबल है ये 10,8642, सेम प्राइस, जैसे हम लोगों ने प्राइस सेम रखा था इन्होंने भी सेम ही रखा है 10,8642 सेम प्राइस. एंड देयर आर 3 कस्टमर्स नाउ, A customer, customer B and customer C, and their total demand is this 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Price 10,8642, price is falling, and 30, 45, 60, 75, 90 demand is rising. If you will plot these points on a graph paper, you will get market demand curve, and market demand curve will also be downward sloping curve. You can see here demand curve DD, it is a downward sloping curve. Again the same explanation is there, figure number 3.3. See the explanation in the figure 3.3. X-axis represents demand, Y-axis represents price. The market demand curve DD slopes downward from left to right, indicating, matlab showing inverse relationship between price and demand. Same thing is there, inverse relationship between price and demand. Price and demand are inversely related. Again I am repeating, price and demand are inversely related. It means when price of a commodity rises, demand for that commodity falls. Now you can see that same seller is there selling apples, but instead of this particular single lady, now there are many customers. It is what is a market demand. Getting my point? So please read the concept of individual demand and market demand. This is what is individual demand schedule. Please go through these concepts one more time so that I can explain you the next topic. Before starting with these factors affecting demand, let me tell you one more short note that why a demand curve is downward sloping. Pay attention, it is there in your textbook. See, reasons justifying downward sloping demand curve, right? Why a demand curve is always downward sloping like this particular demand curve. Why the slope of demand curve is always downward sloping like this? Why it is not upward sloping like this? ऐसे क्यों नहीं है demand curve ऐसे, right? So why a demand curve is downward sloping from left to right? There are various reasons. We will study it one by one. Again I am repeating the heading. Reasons why demand curve is sloping downward. The basic reason is price and demand are inversely related, right? But there are a lot of reasons. Please study the first reason, law of diminishing marginal utility, which you have studied in lesson number 2. Whenever a consumer consumes any commodity in quick succession, the marginal utility diminishes due to the decline in the intensity of wants, right? So please read the reason. We have seen that marginal utility goes on diminishing with the increase in the stock of a commodity and vice versa. Matlab more and more have stock of a commodity, marginal utility will diminish. Therefore, this line is very important. A customer tends to buy more when the price falls and vice versa. Whenever price of a commodity falls, a rational customer will try to purchase more of that particular commodity, and he will try to attain the point of satiety. So when price falls, demand rises. Now, second heading is income effect. Pay attention. In case of normal goods, in this particular lesson you will have a shortcut called as Giffen's paradox. At that time I will explain you. But there are two types of goods. First is normal goods and second is cheap goods, right? That is what is low quality goods. So in case of normal goods, that is standard quality goods, when price of a commodity falls, pay attention toward the word here. They have also mentioned falls, उन्होंने decrease नहीं लिखा है, right? So when price falls, the purchasing power, very important word is this, real income. Getting point? Real income. What it means? There are two types of income. First is money income and second is real income. What real income means? Real income is the quantity of goods and services you purchase with the help of money income. Let me tell you one example. If the price of a commodity is rupees 10 and you can purchase only 1 pen, right? Price of a commodity is rupees 10, that is price of a pen is 10 rupees. With 10 rupees you can be in a position to purchase only 1 pen because you have 10 rupees. If price will fall to 5 rupees per pen, now with the help of 10 rupee note you will be able to purchase 2 pens. So your real income increases. What real income means? पहले तुम लोग 1 पेन खरीद सकते थे, अब तुम लोग 2 पेन खरीदोगे. So your real income will increase, and due to real income will increase, you will be able to purchase more of that commodity with same amount of price. This is called as income effect, right? Whenever price of a commodity falls, with same expenditure, with same level of expenditure, you will be able to purchase more quantity of that commodity. So your real income will increase, right? This was income effect. Third point is very easy, substitution effect. There are various types of goods, right? Some commodities are called as substitutes, some commodities are called as complementary, etc. Substitute goods, let me tell you the example. Tea and coffee are substitute, right? Apsara black pencil and Natraj pencil are substitutes, right? So what happens in case of substitutes like tea and coffee? Pay attention. In case of substitute goods, when the price of a commodity rises, example देता हूँ, you know that tea is cheap commodity as compared to coffee, right? So if what happens if price of tea will rise, right? Pay attention. चाय की प्राइस अगर बढ़ जाएगी, क्या हो जाएगा? देखो, the customer tends to buy more of its substitutes and less of that commodity. अगर चाय की प्राइस बढ़ के कॉफी जितनी हो गई, for example, so a customer like me will stop purchasing tea. I will change my consumption pattern to coffee. And I will think in a manner, now if I will have to pay the same price for a cup of tea and for a cup of coffee, so why not let us have a coffee? And a customer will purchase more of its substitutes. That is, due to rise in price of tea, there will be increase in demand for coffee. Now I have deliberately used the word increase, right? Because there are now 2 commodities. Due to increase in price of tea or due to rise in price of tea, I will demand more quantity of coffee. So it will be called as substitution effect. And when price of tea will rise, demand for coffee will increase, but demand for tea will fall. It is due to the substitution effect. Third point was substitution effect. Now I will shift to fourth point. Fourth point is multi-purpose uses. जैसे कि तुम लोगों ने यूटिलिटी में पढ़ा रहेगा कि there are various commodities which are used for satisfying multiple wants, right? So such as electricity, when a commodity can be used for satisfying several needs, such as electricity can be used for satisfying several needs, its demand will rise with a fall in its price. So if price of electricity will fall, that if electricity will become cheaper, more and more people will purchase AC because now electricity is cheap and demand for electricity will increase for satisfying these unsatisfied wants, that is multi-purpose uses. Next is very easy point, new customers. When there are some new customers entering into the market, due to fall in price of that commodity, a new customer class appears who cannot afford the commodity. Matlab previously a customer has refused to purchase quantity of a commodity as it was costly, right? Now as this particular commodity has become cheap due to fall in its price, a new class of customer who have not afforded this particular commodity, who have not purchased this particular commodity due to its high price, the same group of customer will start purchasing this particular commodity and the demand for this commodity will increase due to fall in price. These are the reasons justifying that why a demand curve is always downward sloping, right? So today we will stop up to this particular point of time, and as you can see according to your textbook, the next topic was types of demand, which you have already studied, right? So before moving to next particular question, which is determinants of demand. See, these are the determinants of demand. Before starting this particular question, I would like to tell you that please go through all the topics which you have studied today, right? Again I am repeating, if you have any doubt you can ask me, and in the next lecture we will try to finish all the determinants of demand. After that we will study law of demand, right? What are the assumptions? You can see factors affecting demand. Here I am ready with the slides. Factors affecting demand, that is determinants of demand. Next question is law of demand. Next is statement of law, assumptions, exceptions, right? This is what is Giffen's paradox. Next, all the exceptions and diagrams of normal demand curve and exceptional demand curve. Okay, but before that I would like to tell you that please go through all the topics which you have studied today. Okay, thank you very much. One more time.